Also, he has somewhat reclining hairline. He has greasy black hair. Oh, and round glasses. And he immediately smiles very broadly at you, so you get a good look at his disgusting-looking teeth.
I smile at him and I say from you look as good as usual.
He goes towards you. Professor Janssen, it has been a very long time, has it not? And he shakes your hand.
Yes, then I shake his hand as well.
Have you finally reconsidered? And he gestures you to take a seat.
Yes, apparently to see the light you have to take some distance so you could actually see it better.
But I must say, you come to me in a rather strange situation. This is a very dangerous territory. How have you managed to get here? I am wondering.
If one has motivation enough, options are... how would I say it? Resources are not options to get here.
I see. Yes, very interesting. And he takes a seat at the head of the table, and he gestures you to also have a seat.
Mm-hmm.
And he snaps his fingers, and immediately a female, a woman, who you assume is some sort of servant, immediately starts pouring some wine for you both.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, food will be arriving shortly. We are waiting for my associate, Hauptmann Kratz. He will be joining us for dinner.
Hauptmann Kratz.
Yes, he is the leader of the local military, you see. And he has been providing me with both security and test subjects. Yes, my friend, I have a lot to tell you. But first, you must tell me in greater detail why you have reconsidered. Because last time we both spoke, you were very much against my ideas.
Out of game, what were his ideas again?
With his occultism and wanting to experiment on human beings and whatnot. Of course, any rational human being would protest against something like this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to go into great lengths. You just give me the basics of what you explained to him.
I explained to him that after I left, I actually researched a little bit more about what he was looking for, and that I had to come to the conclusion that he might have been right, and that perhaps through human research we could unravel that truth after all.
Alright, give me a persuasion roll. Luckily for you, he wants to believe you, but still.
Persuasion. Okay.
He is no fool.
Ooh, 5. Okay.
A 5. Yes, he seems to believe you. He seems to actually be very, very enthusiastic that you have returned. And he says, my friend, yes, there's lots of work for us to be done. Because you see, I am a little bit stuck with my research at the moment. And I think perhaps you, with a different look on the situation, can perhaps help me. Because you see, while I am a scientist and I have assistants who are also scientists, they do not know anything of the occult like you do. The methods I am using right now, I want to create the perfect soldier, but it is not working the way it should. Perhaps you can have a look at the formula I am using. Perhaps you could see the errors and perfect it.
Yes, of course.
But first, then you hear heavy boots coming your way. And the doctor is immediately silent, and he says, that would probably be the commander. And entering the room, you see a German military officer. He looks very neatly dressed. He has a small, neatly trimmed mustache, piercing grey eyes that look like they could get the truth out of you. Would you happen to be a spy? And also, what you immediately notice, his facial feature. It looks almost like he has gaunt facial features. It almost looks like all the fat has been drained from his face. He looks quite scary. What charming company you have right now.
Indeed. I feel so like an outsider. Maybe
Yes.
I should become more skinny as well.
The commander
Fitting.
takes off his hat and puts it under his arm, under his shoulder, I mean. And he comes to a halt and he says, Herr Doctor, who is this? And the doctor immediately goes, Hauptmann, this is my good friend, Professor from Belgium, Professor Janssen. We have worked together on other projects as well. And even though he objected to my methods, it seems he finally has a change of heart and he's come to assist me in my project. Have you not, Professor Janssen?
Indeed I have.
And the Hauptmann immediately narrows his eyes at you and he says, is that so?
Ooh, I can see the suspicion in your eyes, my friend.
I am not your friend. And the doctor immediately goes, now, we are all on the same side here. Now let us all sit and drink and eat. And what is keeping the food?
Well, the food cannot make it on its own, of course.
And you notice as he starts shouting, the maid immediately looks very nervous and she quickly runs off. She seems to be quite frightened of him.
Fascinating. Crap.
Yes, and the captain also has a seat. And he takes a glass of wine and then he notices it's empty and he frowns.
I get up. I go towards the bottle of wine.
Yes.
I pull up my sleeves so that he can see the lower part of my arms, and I say, "Allow me."
And then the commander says, there is no need for that, Herr Professor. This is the work for a servant, not for a scholar like yourself. Be seated. He says very dryly. Clearly the servants here are lacking and need to be taught German discipline.
Of course.
What do? Do you listen to him or do you pour him a drink anyway?
If that is what you say, Herr Commander.
So you listen to him
Then
and
I
you
go
go sit
sit.
down? Yes,
Yes.
very well. Anyway, the nervous maid returns, and you notice immediately the Hauptmann looks very angry at her, and he says, "Why have I not been given any drink?" And she immediately goes, "Oh my apologies, Commandant. I will immediately." And then he just backhands her. I will forgive it this once, but another misstep, and I will not be as forgiving. Do you understand? And she immediately gets up. Yes, Herr Commandant. And she quickly pours him a drink.
Ah, yes, the typical Nazi.
Well, he does expect discipline, yes. Anyway, shortly thereafter, dinner is brought. Apparently pheasant. Quite tasty.
The rest of my team is eating rations and I'm eating pheasant.
Yes. You're now a guest. You're now the guest of a count.
Indeed.
And as you're eating, the Hauptmann Kratz speaks to you. He says, "So, Herr Professor, tell me more about you. Tell me a
What
little
is it
bit
that
about
you want to
yourself.
know?
Where have you studied? What is your field of expertise? Are you a medical doctor like the Count?"
No, I am more of a historical doctor. I'm actually not a doctor, I am a professor.
you're a
My
doctor too.
majors are history, mythology, and the occult.
I see. Pardon my ignorance, but I do not see, except perhaps for history, the use of such subjects. The occult is just fairy tales and other nonsense. What use is this to anyone? And the doctor starts laughing. But that is my friend, where I have gotten all this knowledge from. And then the Hauptmann raised his hand. "I was not asking you, doctor. I was asking Professor Janssen." And you notice the doctor frowning at him, but he's silent anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It is very clear that Hauptmann Kratz is the one in command here.
Mm-hmm. As you might have known, that every mythological tale has a base of truth in it.
Is that
So
so?
if you search long enough, then you can find the truth in every mythological story.
I see. And this is the sort of nonsense you teach to your students?
I teach my students to look for the facts behind the mythological fairy tales.
Well, at least you encourage them to think. Perhaps they will realize the folly of such studies.
Indeed. But after every great fantasy, there is always a fundamental truth.
I see.
Fundamental.
Now then, I am also curious to know, why have you come here to help the doctor? Yes, I've heard the story from him. What is your story? Again, he seems very suspicious of you.
Well, of course, you have all the right to question me. Let's say
again,
at
you don't need to go into great
I
lengths
say
if you
the
don't
same
want
thing again, that at first I was very suspicious of it myself, that all the things he said were more than just that, they were actually, how I say it, the fantasies of a madman. But then after leaving, I looked into it of my own and actually saw some, I would say, truth behind it.
Yes. And then he immediately goes, is that so? But could it be that perhaps the reason you have come here is because you are fearing for your life? You fear that in time our forces will come to your country as well, and for that reason you have come here to seek a safe haven, or am I mistaken?
It is better to join forces with the victors than to die with the losers.
So, you are completely agreeing with the Nazi philosophy, is that it? You agree with everything the Führer wants to do with Europe?
He wants to unify Europe to one big nation. Why shouldn't I?
Yes,
Why should I agree to that?
And get rid of all the vermin that is stealing the money from the hard-working populace, of course.
Indeed.
Yes, and you may now roll persuasion.
I was preparing for that.
Because he's still looking at you with suspicion.
I'll decide. A 3 and a 1, that's...
Yes, that's not very good. You don't need to spend it, but oh well. Guess you're doomed now.
I am? Of course I am doomed. Come on!
I apparently jinxed it, and I'm feeling merciful, oddly enough. I'm giving you it back.
Wow.
It may very well save your life.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, he looks at you suspiciously, but he doesn't say anything. You're getting a bad feeling about this.
Mm-hmm.
That's so. And then the doctor immediately goes, Now, come, my friends, no need to be so serious. Let us talk about more pleasant things.
Yes.
And then he starts discussing his theories with you. The commander apparently does not think this is a pleasant thing to talk about, and he instead concentrates on his food.
Yes.
So yes,
What
you
Yes.
are being entertained for the moment being, but after dessert things get a little more serious. And once you're done eating, you notice the commander wiping his mouth, and then he says, "Gentlemen, I have business to attend to. There are still intruders roaming the lands here, and they need to be caught. How should I put this? How coincidental that these intruders arrive at the same time as your professor friend. Do you not think so, Herr Doctor?" And the doctor goes, "Yes, that is very suspicious indeed. But I do not think Professor Janssen has anything to do with them." And then the Hauptmann goes, "Ah, is that so? We will see. Now then, gentlemen, I bid you good night." And
I think someone's getting my cyanide pill.
He puts on his officer's cap again. He clacks his two boots again, and he stretches out his arm and goes, "Heil Hitler!"
Heil Hitler!
Yes, and the doctor also Heil Hitlers. But actually he does it more quickly. With less enthusiasm.
Like throwing his head at it.
And then the captain departs. Yes, Hauptmann needs captain. And afterward, the doctor tells you about how much he looks forward to working with you, and he suggests that you get that after you're done cleaning yourself up and perhaps get a quick rest, you immediately get to it. What do you say?
But of course, that is why I came here after all. Sigh.
Very good, my friend. In that case, I will see you in half an hour. A soldier will escort you to my laboratory.
Oh dear.
Yes, you have a bad feeling about this. So yes, indeed, a soldier escorts you back to your room where you're allowed to freshen up and what have you. And I think it's also time for me to go freshen up, because I see it's high time to go take a break. I am quite hungry. Yes, Dries?
Same here.
Okay.
As am I.
Yes, very well. We will be taking our break and have some supper, and we will see you afterwards.